Okay, good afternoon. As I mentioned, I will start the topic on series of nutrition needed by our body, which is today we're going to talk about protein. I will first discuss why our body need protein, and also 7 signs that you are not getting enough protein. You can check later on all these signs whether you have it or not, or even the family member around you. And we'll do a comparison between plant-based and animal-based proteins. Why people are more talking about plant-based protein right now. And if you think that you really need protein supplement, why you must choose our product, one of our stronghold product called Jiaho Instant Soya Protein Powder. And I will share with you some of the testimonial. Okay, let's talk about nutrients. I think we know that we need nutrient in our body. I think it's separated into macronutrient and micronutrients. So today we'll talk about protein. Protein is usually belong to the macronutrients. So if we look at what we eat every day, okay, what we eat every day, the main component of the macronutrient in our diet, I assume your normal diet. So carbo, this is where we eat rice or mee or mee siam or whatever. Carbo will contribute to normally to about 55 to 65%. Somebody will eat more carbo, will eat more rice. So that is actually an energy source of our body. The next category in our normal diet will be protein, about 10 to 35%. This is our emphasis for today's topic. It's actually important to build, maintain, and repair body tissues. And followed by fats, 20%, depend on diet you're taking. And fat is important. It's insulate, protect body organ, grow and maintain cell. Actually, that is what normally what we eat in our normal diet. So what is protein? Protein is nutrient needed by the human body for growth and maintenance. I mean, grow means that since young or since baby, you need to grow your body. You need that. Maintenance means that even your body don't grow anymore, you still need to have the kind of maintenance. A lot of physiological function that body need. Let me show it to you. One of the basic substances that make up of human body, protein. In our body, 70% water, the rest 30% protein. So you can imagine that what you can see, what you can feel, your skin, your hair, your bone or whatever is actually make up protein, as simple as that. And beside that is protein is a basic structure of the human body. Protein also participate in the physiological function of each and every cell and in all for human tissue. So it's very important. You basically what it says is you live, you walk, you can do all the activity because you got protein. And another point is the body does not store protein. Thus, there is a daily need for it. It means that the body does not build protein. So you need to have an intake of this protein every day. So let me re-emphasize protein in human body. As I mentioned just now, I put into a slide what protein do in our body. Protein, the building block of human body. As I mentioned, whatever you can feel, you can touch, that is made of protein. Skin, all our organs, glands, skeletal structure, including all your bones, all your cartilage, soft bones, everything, your muscle, okay, link your bone to the the muscle, and also even your red blood cell, white blood cell. I mean, there's all the blood component. Blood cell also made from protein. Enzyme for our digestive functions. Enzyme called enzyme hormones. Part of our body signaling to tell our body to do what kind of job. That is also important in our body. That all need to make up protein. So you can see that. I think you already know that, or can see from this slide. If you don't have enough protein, it might have big problem. So I want to tell you 7 signs you are not getting enough protein. So sometimes from these signs that happen in you, you might realize that, hey, I might not have enough protein intake. Okay, number one sign that you're not getting enough protein is swelling, or we call anemia. Swelling, I think in Chinese we call 水肿. So 水肿 or this swelling can happen everywhere. For example, your abdomen. Somebody actually look very good, but just the abdomen is a bit bulky. Your leg, your feet. From the picture, you can see this lady. He wear a slipper or a shoe. You can see that obviously it's a very severe kind of anemia, and even hands. I mean, swelling can cause by a lot of factors, but lack of protein is definitely one of them. Why? Because there is this component called albumin, or protein that circulate in your blood. It helps to keep your fluid from building up in your tissue. So this swelling happen because there's water in your tissue that cause the swelling. So albumin have this job that actually make sure that water don't retain in your blood. And as I mentioned, there may other things can cause anemia. For example, if your kidney function is not so well, that also cause swelling. So this is one of the factors. Number two, not enough protein also can lead to, we call this thing called mood changes. So it might be surprised. Sometimes you suddenly become very down or very sad. You thought that you encountered something that's actually you feel very sad, but you actually in the normal circumstances it might be okay, but don't know why you suddenly feel very sad. So we call mood changes. And bear in mind that your brain uses chemical called neurotransmitters to relay information between cells. It's like electrical signal. They actually transmit signal from brain cell to cell, then from your central neural system all the way to your peripheral neural system. That's where the signal, this neural signal can be transmitted to even to your hand, to your leg or whatever, to control the movement, and also have sensation like you can feel hot, cold, or more things. So many of these neurotransmitters are made of amino acids. Okay, in case you don't know what is amino acids, when your protein, when you digest, break down by body, actually it become amino acid. So amino acid can be absorbed by the body. So we know that we have this product called Yonken bee pollen. Yonken bee pollen is good. The protein in this Yonken bee pollen is in a form of amino acid. Don't need to be digested, okay? But if you take normal protein, you have to digest and break down to amino acid first. So if you lack of this amino acid, it means that body cannot make enough of those neurotransmitters. For example, there's this thing called dopamine. Dopamine is actually a feel-good neurotransmitter. And another thing called serotonin, I think we call happy chemical. If you don't have enough amino acid, these two of level, dopamine and serotonin, will be low. And when this thing too low, you will feel depressed or overly aggressive. So there is, we always say hormone important. So actually to be surprised if you don't know, actually mood changes and protein actually play an important role. So sometimes you might want to see what's happening to you or even to the family around you. Sometimes some of your family members might become happy, but suddenly become so sad. And this happens especially old people. Old people tend to depressed. So one thing is maybe not enough caring of the people, but certainly old people tend to not have enough intake of protein because they don't eat meat or that much anymore, maybe due to chewing or whatever. They don't want to chew anymore because the teeth have dropped off for a certain extent, or they don't able to digest the meat, so they might cut down on the meat or even whatever. So actually the intake of protein affected, so you monitor further. And another obvious signs of not enough protein, you can see it, will be thing changes on your hand, nail, and skin. You know that hair, nail, and skin, they are made out of protein like elastin, collagen, and keratin. And if it's this deficiency, your hair will become very brittle. I think sometimes you can see that, hey, how come my hair break easily? Some lady will say, hey, how come suddenly all my hair break so easily? Huh? And flaky skin, your skin look like want to peel off. When you are young, you don't see it. That's why getting older or old people, when they not take enough protein, you have very flaky skin. And sometimes you look at your fingernail, there's this thing called deep ridges. Their line seeing in your fingernail. It actually means that your body don't have enough protein. Then that make up all these ingredient to make a nail. So this important. Look around, look at you. Of course, I will put out 7 signs you are not getting enough protein. Maybe you only have 1 or 2, they're not so critical. Maybe there are other factors involved. But if you can see that out of 7 you got more than 3, then obviously I think this sign, you are obviously having signs of not enough protein. You have to do something. And not enough protein also lead to weakness and fatigue. What do I mean? Okay, lack of protein can make you lose muscle mass. I think important, our body, there are a lot of muscle actually for you to have strength to walk or to do your body functions. So when you lose your muscle strength, when you lose your muscle mass, your body strength will reduce, and if you walk, it will be difficult to keep your balance. That's why old people sometimes can see that they very difficult to keep their balance and slow down your metabolism. So there is an effect. And not enough protein also lead to anemia, not enough red blood cell. When not enough red blood cell, then your body will not carry enough oxygen to every part of body, then you will feel tired. And just what I mentioned about loss of muscle mass, for those old people 55 years and above, research show that if just don't eat enough protein for 1 week, then it really affect the muscle that is responsible for your posture and movement. That's why some old people, that even they're in hospital, doctors are very scared. For example, if you are in hospital, the old people lay down on the bed, let's say for 3 to 5 days, even more than a week. When they want to discharge, I think they will get the occupational therapy to see whether these old people can walk or not. Just to make sure the muscle is there, okay, can walk or can do a proper walking or not. So that's why old people is important. They don't just take enough protein for a week, they really have difficulty to walk. I think that's the idea. And another sign that not take enough protein or body don't have enough protein is hunger. So this is interesting. A lot of people might don't understand this. Protein is one of the 3 sources of calories. Calorie means that to help you burn your body. Okay, so there are 3 sources of calorie. Obviously, one is your carbo, that's from the rice or even mee hoon or what we call carbs or the carbohydrates. The other one is from fats. Okay, that's also source of calorie. The third one is definitely protein. That's why we always say that and in our job nature now, since we spend not a lot of, we don't really burn a lot because we don't do a lot of hard work that causes sweat. So a lot of time we might don't need so much carbo, but you definitely need protein. So there are a lot of people eat a lot of times to feel your hunger, even though you already have regular meal, 3 meal, but you still feel hungry. I'm not sure any of you have this kind of symptoms. It means you already eat 3 meal, you still feel hungry. So what's the problem? So it might mean that it might need more protein. Study have found that eating food with protein help you feel fuller throughout the day. So that is a thing that you have to eat more protein. So I think recently there's this thing called ketone diet. Actually, there are specific dieting to lose weight but still maintain your energy. They only eat protein and vegetable, or to keep fiber and totally cut down on carbo, which is rice or whatever. But there are some drawback on this ketone diet. diet. I don't want to mention, I don't want to discuss here, but just to tell you that um, to really feel your hunger, protein is needed. Okay, and the number 6 signs when you lack of protein is slow healing when you have injury. Low on protein often find their cuts and scrapes take longer to get better. Even you sprain your ankle or any exercise related thing. So this lacking protein also resulted in body not making enough collagen. Collagen is found in connective tissue as well as your skin. In a subsequent topic called Vitaking, we'll introduce this higher grade protein. I always say collagen is a higher grade protein. You can substitute this in our product called Vitaking. It's a hydrolyzed collagen, and it's a very good source of protein. And that's why this collagen or protein is important because it's a connecting tissue. So, and also to make blood clot means that if there's a cut, there's a bleed, so you need to make the blood clot. You might need protein to make platelet to do so. So that's the thing. So that's why you can see sometimes when older people they don't have enough protein, when there's an injury or there's whatever, there's a slow healing process. So that's the idea. And number 7, people who lack of protein also get sick easily or staying sick. Means that after you take very long time to recover from your sickness. Amino acid, I mentioned just now, a protein breakdown in your blood help your immune system to make antibody that activate white blood cell to fight off viruses, bacteria, and toxins. This is important. So you need protein to digest and absorb other nutrients that keep you healthy. So we know that we taking 灵芝 is very good for immune system, but bad enough that 灵芝 is not nutrient. We still need nutrients like protein that to keep your body make all this so-called immune system. Okay, so we talk about 7 signs that you are not getting enough protein. So my intention here is you monitor among yourself or the family members around you to see whether are they really got enough protein or not. So now I want to move on to discuss type of protein. Obviously, we know that there are 2 types of protein: plant-based protein and animal-based protein. So, what are the 2 differences between plant-based protein and animal-based protein? Plant-based protein, we term it as incomplete protein. Some plant-based protein lack 1 or more of essential amino acid. Okay, let us understand this term called essential amino acids. You can look at my mouse cursor. Essential amino acid. Our body need 8 essential amino acid. Okay, these are 8. Okay, 8 type. And these essential amino acids, some of them are not able to produce in the body. You need to eat from the outside foods. So plant-based actually most of the time might not have enough of all these 8 essential amino acids. For example, nuts and grain might be low in 2 kinds of amino acid. Okay, these 2 kinds. However, among all the plant-based, soya bean or soybean are the only common plant food that contain complete proteins. Okay, so that's why if you look at China, soy product has been a staple food. You mean a food they eat every day. That's why Chinese are very healthy. Last time, when they take a lot of all these soybean product. That is why soybean has been our staple food for Chinese for since long time. So it's a very good source of protein. We look at animal based, I mean all the meat we eat, being a chicken, pork, cow, or even fish, they actually are complete protein. That's very good. They are considered complete as they contain all the 8 essential amino acids needed by body. So this is very important. However, meat nowadays people cut down, partly they contain saturated fat and cholesterol. Some people now they don't want to take a lot of animal-based protein because they know that actually they contain fat and cholesterol. Plant-based in another way is actually having higher nutritional value and a lower calorie count and little no saturated fat. That's why people are moving on to all these plant-based protein. That's what we can see now. And as I mentioned, the best plant-based protein is soya beans because it actually has the complete 8 essential amino acids. So now to introduce our product, which is called Jiahuo Instant Soya Protein Powder, is from this soybean. That's why it's popular. So this Jiahuo Instant Soya Protein Powder give you full vitality and great health. The major constituents of this product is soya bean isolate. Bean is actually extract from soy. And out of 10 kg of soya bean, you only extracted 1 kg. So that's what we call isolates. So that's why there are actually some components in the soybean that not so healthy. We already extract out. So I'll tell you why this. And this product we also have this thing called lecithin. A lot of people know lecithin. Some people go to organic shop to just buy lecithin. What lecithin can do, I'll share with you later. Papain and bromelain is kind of enzyme to help you digest the protein. So I move on to talk about function and benefit of all these ingredients. First thing I mentioned, isolated soya protein. We are not just pure soya protein, we are isolated soya protein. It means that some good point about all this soy we extracted for us to consume. Those not so good, we throw away. So what's the thing that's not so good? Purine. Purine will cause gout. That's why a lot of people say, don't eat soy product every day. You'll cause gout, 痛风. Then you might have difficulty to walk. That's true. That's why you cannot always eat tau hui zhui every day or tau hui every day. They will cause gout, especially you are getting older. But in actual fact, plant-based kind of purine is safer than the animal type of purine, just for information. So we are isolated soya protein, so allow easy absorption out to 95% of the human body for the utilization. Okay, so actually the body can absorb very well. Okay, and benefits and ensure that body optimizes intake of protein requirements, capable of supporting growth of tumor cell and preventing cancer disease, because soya isoflavone is actually able to prevent cancer. We talk about this soya isoflavone in another topic, I think in the calcium. So I want to introduce another term called PDCAAS, Protein Digestibility Corrected Amino Acid Score. So in case you are first time seeing this score, PDCAAS, just for your information, the PDCAAS allows evaluation of the food protein quality based on the needs of human, as it measures the quality of a protein based on the amino acid requirement adjusted for digestibility. Means that this product, we want to see how well the body can digest and absorb the protein. We have this score called PDCAAS. So for our isolated soya protein, the score is near to 1 or 100%. So it's very high. So the higher is 100%. Your body cannot absorb 100% higher. So actually, for this isolated soya protein, this PDCAAS score is very high, close to 1 or close to 100%, just for information. So lecithin, I mentioned just now, lecithin is actually 卵磷脂 in Chinese. In Chinese we always say it's a 血管的清道夫, help to cleanse the blood. The function is it helps prevent fat build-up and eliminate toxin. Supply enough choline to the brain, which add on brain function. Okay, break down fat in the body. So it's very good product. Okay, I mentioned it can reduce excessive fat in the body, in the blood vessel and the liver. So that is very important. In the another two components that in the protein is calcium caseinate is from milk product. Actually, this product, if you take with other vegetable protein like soy protein, you can promote effective utilization of the protein and assimilation of the calcium by the body. So it's very good. So it can actually added this calcium caseinate actually help you to absorb and utilize the intake of protein. So Songho product, we don't have a lot of Songho product, as I mentioned, only 30 plus, but every product, the way we design is that you take the product, you have a highest absorption and utilization rate in your body. That's important. There are a lot of similar product in the market. A lot of time you eat that, but maybe body not able to absorb or utilize it better than. So that's why our product added in all these things like, for example, in our protein, they also added papaya enzyme and the pineapple enzyme. All these help to break down large molecule of protein into smaller one, so it can have a digestion and assimilate in your body, as I mentioned. So this protein powder, Jiahao instant protein powder, actually have many functions, just to make sure you have easy to digest. And we talk about so much of protein. Who need protein? I think obvious answer is everybody need. Am I right? Well, people who want to wishing for good complexion, because skin is from protein. Am I right? You want to look good, protein. Pregnant lady and growing children. Pregnant lady is actually you have a growing baby, so you need a lot of protein, because as I mentioned, protein is a building block for our body. Growing children, children grow very fast and need a lot of protein. Weight Watchers, protein can control weight very well, as I mentioned. Gastrointestinal problem sufferer, this one is one thing. So I always say that people who have gastro problem, they can take protein, especially for the stomach. Okay, those people who have stomach acid reflux, you can take 2 sachets of protein, made with maybe 150 ml of warm water and shake well. So this is one of the things I will talk later. And people who actually recover from illnesses, and in Chinese we say our cell protein is 穷人的燕窝. It's a cheaper form of the bird nest. So if I go to hospital to visit people who are actually warded and need to recover, so I don't bring 燕窝. 燕窝 costs a lot of money. I bring Jiahao soy protein powder. Actually, we have a very good source of protein. So people, when you recover from illnesses or surgery, they need protein to make them heal off the wound and make them grow back all the cell in a very fast manner. So our protein definitely is a good source of all this energy grow. People with busy schedule, sometimes you might tend to skip meal. You don't have enough time to go meal, okay? And soya protein can be a meal replacement from time to time. When you feel hungry, you can just take soya protein first before you can go for proper meal. But my advice, don't skip meal, because that's very bad for health. Elderly with complication, older people when they might not taking protein, enough protein from the meat or whatever, this is a good source. For example, my mother, when you're still around last time, it's always his so-called her breakfast. When he wake up, he'll drink protein first before he go and eat maybe porridge or whatever later. But protein is always the first thing she will take in the morning. So how to consume protein? So you can consume 1 to 2 sachets of Jiahao protein. So into 1 glass, so containing 200 to 300 ml of lukewarm water. So still stir well or shake, so you can just drink. So maybe every morning for myself, before I go for exercise or chanting, I will take 2 sachets of instant soy protein powder first. So of course you can mix with our other nutrition food like Vita King and Jiahao Fiber. So how much protein we need? Healthy allowed, actually we need 1 gram of protein for 1 kg body weight. it means that for 60 kg body weight, you need about 60 gram. Maybe about one sachet of protein is about 6 gram, if I'm not wrong. So you have to take about 10 sachet of protein for 60 kg of people, I repeat. But I believe in your normal diet, if you take fish, meat, or all the nuts or the beans, so maybe taking 2 to 3 or 2 to 4, okay, is enough. So for children, you might need to double because they are growing fast, okay. Still based on body weight, you might need to times 2, okay. So one sachet, as I mentioned, is about 5 to 6 grams of protein. So for pregnant lady, there's a formula for pregnant lady, or even for growing children, there's a formula to calculate. If you want to know the formula, you can approach me or approach the people who invite you for this meeting later. Okay, let's go to some testimonial, what the protein can do. So let's look at first testimonial, and this is the girl. Why he take protein? Actually, it enhance body cell tissue construction, revitalize brain cell, and promote brain development. This girl actually, Ziying, was born premature and suffer from defect in the brain, a hole in the heart, a pair of abnormal large kidney, and blood in the urine. So a lot of health complications since birth. So since 1 year old, he already have fluid retention in the brain, frequent got inflammation, seizure, blah blah blah. So when the age of 2 years old, I think somebody introduced the mother to give protein for the girl. I think after giving protein together with pollen and lingzhi, actually he have a better immune system. I mentioned just how protein important for immune system, and because of that, and he can go to school and showing sign of growing in learning, and now it's more healthy. So as I mentioned, protein actually, our isolated cell protein help for cell growth, better growth for health for children, and that lecithin actually good for brain, brain development. So that's the first testimonial. We look at second testimonial, 11 years old, Serene. He was born tiny and thin. So why he take protein? Because he want to enhance absorption and promote healthy growth. So he was often fell sick or fall sick and have fever and cough, have poor appetite and underweight. So he started taking 2 sachets of cell protein when she was 9 years old. Then he improved, appetite improved, and slowly the mother give the other stronger supplement as well. Now he grows stronger and no longer fall sick as often, and the body also gained. Okay, now look at this gentleman, 19 years old. This is very interesting. He take protein. A lot of time people take protein as a meal supplement, want to control weight or lose weight, but this gentleman is actually underweight and skinny. In Chinese, we say 假了bi, means that whatever you eat now, you cannot grow lah. That's the idea. So there is a way to eat protein for you to gain weight. So he actually take the protein after meal. Okay. So he take 1 sachet of protein after breakfast, after dinner. Okay. So he can increase the weight from 55 kg to 60 kg. Okay. The weight size also increase. So bear in mind that if you want to control weight, lose weight, take protein before meal. You want to gain weight, take protein after meal. Don't mix up. Huh? You mix up, then the effect will be the other way around. Okay, don't come and find me. Okay. Okay, another gentleman, he actually have a special thing happening because he was during work, he was having skill with hot water, I think. So after that, he had this inflammation. So actually, he take cell protein because there is a skin irritation and itchiness. So he take 6 packets of cell protein daily. So initially a bit of more irritation and itchiness, but after that, all the itch reduced, and the scar that due to scarring of the hot water actually heal off better. So I think this one is actually, I our soya protein help to rebuild and repair our body cell, the skin. I have one even more serious case. Maybe let me see where is it. Okay. So this one is also another case. This uncle is a hawker from Singapore. He suffered from the oil splash during working. You know, he's cooking, so there's a oil cooking, so was splashed on his body, including the faces. You can see a terrible thing happened. So actually, he take about 8 sachets of protein every day. After number 8 day, his injury condition improved by 70%. I think this is a testimony from Singapore. I think it's in. So as I mentioned, protein is very good for skin. Another testimony from Indonesia. I think this from Indonesia. So actually, this person actually have this kidney-related problem. A lot of people think that, oh, kidney problem cannot take protein because there will be a leakage of protein. The answer is correct, but our cell protein is isolated, so it's safe. But kidney-related problem, if they don't take protein, they become weaker and weaker. But they take protein, they have this leakage protein. So, but our soya source isolated cell protein is quite safe. So because of he taking this our soya protein, so his health condition improved. And he used to have urinary problem also being soft. So I think that is a very good thing happening on him. So conclusion, actually our protein, so our body really need protein. 70% of our body is water, the rest 30% is protein. So we really need protein. So there's also signs of not getting enough protein. Based on what I mentioned to you just now, you can do your own evaluations. So between plant-based and animal-based, there is a way to balance it. But nowadays, people are more prefer plant-based to get your body needed protein, the 8 kind of essential amino acid. The only plant-based that able to provide to you will be soya beans. Our Jiahuo instant soy protein powder actually is from soya bean, but it's isolated. It actually extracted all the good stuff, all the not so good one like purine already throw away. Okay, so it's definitely a good form of nutrients that you need to supplement every day. Okay, so that's